Hello everybody, this is Starman, and welcome back to Let's Play Betrayal at Krondor. Well, last time you remember, we started clearing out the area around High Castle of goblins, and we have now come surprisingly far west to a little town called Eldpoint. And our goal for today is going to be to try and explore the town of Eldpoint, which we had just liberated from invading trolls. There's the invading trolls. And yeah, nothing on these guys, unfortunately. And I think, yep, that did, there's a shop here, empty house. And an inn. Wow, 110. More money than we made in the bigger city of High Castle. A table was cleaned for them. Sitting down on a splintered bench across from the man, Locklear shared a bit of the mercenary's bread, and we have heard this one before. And we might better luck clicking on the lady. The question had been innocent enough. While he meant nothing by asking the woman what she was doing in the tavern, Locklear found he was suddenly at the mercy of a rather pathetic street hawker. "I'm trying to sell these," the woman said. She opened up a rustic and drew out a handful of cracked seashells, handing them over to Locklear to examine. "Have you tried to sell them in a merchant somewhere?" Locklear asked. "A few places, but I've found they won't buy anything they don't already have on the shelves. Why do they just need more of what they already have? I'd think they'd jump the chance to stock items they don't have around." Locklear shrugged and handed the shells back. "I'm no merchant, but it might be a matter of knowing what your regular buyers come after. If you've never done anybody asking for shells, it probably doesn't make much sense if you waste your money trying to buy them." So yes, we have that defense of why we can't just sell whatever junk we want to get rid of at any shop. And nobody's been in this house. Disturbingly, most of these houses do not seem to have been lived in for some time. The stooped man who came to the door was wiping his hands on a stained cloth. "Welcome to Eldpoint. Have you come to buy a pot? Very fine quality," the man said with a broad smile. "Yes, I'm sure they are, but we are travelers and have no use for such items. What can you tell us of your town?" asked Locklear. The man put down his rag, rubbed his forehead with the back of his arm and his wrist. "Well, there's a general store called Guds, and an inn called the Royal Bed, and a few houses here and there, nothing out of the ordinary. Why?" Shaking his head slightly, Locklear said, "No reason, just curious. Thank you for your time, sir." So, yeah, we are totally, let's see, well. This one did not poison us. Hurrah! So yeah, not much to this town, apart from one more house. Locklear knocked on the door. Presently, a stout woman answered. After a short exchange of pleasantries, she ushered them inside. "My husband is in the other room working on a new pair of shoes. I'll tell him you're here." She disappeared behind a cloth curtain that apparently separated the living area of the house from the work area. The curtains parted again, and a smiling man entered the room. "Why, yes, gentlemen, have you come for a pair of shoes? Perhaps you'd have a pair for your lady friends, eh? I'm working on a new shoe design for ladies of high fashion." He held up a pair of shoes that had a thin 2-inch heel. Locklear frowned. "Wouldn't it feel like you were walking downhill all day long?" The old man looked at Locklear, then back at the shoe. Maybe you're right. In any case, I have some fine..." Yes, I'm doing a Scottish accent for him now because he said, "Ach. Maybe you're right. In any case, I have some fine footwear if you're interested. The elves call them weed walkers. You just put them on your boots and it somehow muffles the sound. Are you interested?" Well, we already have a set of them, but we can take an extra one, so we can give those to Locklear's friend later. And let's see what we have in the general store. Well, standard stuff, broadsword, light crossbow, regular armor. Though they're selling Silverthorn in the store, which is rather amusing to me, given that, well, in the original novel Silverthorn was very difficult to come by. In fact, it only grew by one lake on the northern edge of the Elvish Highlands. And it looks like we've got 2 books here. Acts of the Shamata Garrison and Strategies of Trading. You know what? Books are always helpful, so let's go ahead and haggle that one down a bit. we'll deal with those after we can get out of here and stat ourselves appropriately. Let's see. I did get rid of most of my excess gear already, oddly enough. And most of our oddities, so never mind. Okay, now I am going to cheat a little on this, since I'm not sure exactly what books these what skills these books are going to enhance. Let's see, melee 76, melee 53, melee 61. So we're going to go ahead and unfocus everything. And I'm going to have Owen read these. Well, actually, I think this one might be melee, so we'll have Owen go ahead and read both. Realizing the book was about battle. I think we may have read this one already. And we definitely read that one already, but this should actually improve our skills. So let's see. So one's assessment, the other one was haggling, so we already got that one. But let's go ahead and restore. So I'm going to resplat everybody's assessment skill. So that boosted his assessment to 53, boosted his assessment to 24, and boosted him to an astonishing 64. Let's see if... And yeah, I thought that originally reading individual copies of the book might boost your skill. It seems that they fixed that glitch. But you can still attempt to read it over and over, and there's a chance that it will go up a little bit. So we'll go ahead and give everybody 33 extra reads. And that did improve it a bit. So you can continue to get use out of these books even after you've read one once before. But I won't bore you any further watching me do that. Alright, well, with that done, so onward and westward we go to that ambush that... And yes, I've been reading so long that we cannot sleep, or we haven't slept. Easy to forget that the game does keep track of the time in that way. A bird shot into the sky. I think we might be able to pay attention to that little creature, whatever starlet might be close at hand. So yeah, we're about to go into an ambush. And Owen's scouting ability increased. Looks like something's down that way. Ah, just a blue tree. And by going off the road, we actually seem to be increasing our stealth abilities, dodging the ambush. And okay, nobody's in that house, and looks like there's a well over here. And we can't get into that barn yet. Well, thankfully we've got crossbowmen, so they can't stop Owen from casting a spell. And we have yet to give a certain new spell a try. There we go, River Song. So now our enemies have bigger worries than us. They've got an undead, life-draining monstrosity in their midst. And I forget, can we cast Gambit of the Eight on a space that's already occupied? It appears we cannot, but... Oh, that one appears to be making a break for it. And we'll go ahead and let Owen have his fun with this one. Let's see, Winds of Erodas, I think 5 should be enough. Easy peasy. Yes, we'll sleep here for 2 days in the road outside this house, and then we will loot these bodies. Aha, tuning fork. And yes, Gorov struck the metallic device against his knee, cringing as it sang its high-pitched tune. I always dreaded when the Jongyos tune their instruments, he said, killing the still ring note. It's that pitch. If my hearing were any more sensitive, I think I'd bleed from the ears. Well, that is a bit of a hint as to what we can do with that little device. And a set of picklocks and a shell. Well, heck, we might as well head back to Eldpoint, I believe that was the name of this town, since the shop is so close by. And he won't take the Moored Hell Swords, of course. Or that armor. So yeah, clearly we are in the redneck town where they won't take them fancy Surani weapons. I want to have a raft into that. And okay, still good on whetstone and whatnot. Alright. So, back to the west. It just occurred to me, yeah, Stealth 72, Stealth 68, Stealth 70. We are some rather stealthy fellows. And just make sure we did pick all of these guys clean. Alright. Another pile of stones. I wonder. Yep, looks like we have a hidden chest just off the road here. Actually, a couple of them. Now, first things first, save. Cast Scent of Sereg. And alright, yes, thankfully these appear to be just regular ones. Let's see. Black one bought, red one used, gray one thrown away. I want to say matches, but those are red one bought. They're not shoes. This one I don't remember because I only played through this part of the game once. So I don't remember it quite as well as some of the other one. Oh, coals. Well, now this is nice. Amulet of the Upright Man. Affecting player statistics. Well, let's see. I don't think my lockpicking has gone up all that much. Alright, so there's one. Oh wait, that was the first one I clicked. I actually did go left to right instead of up the middle. Alright, let's see. It is too much for one, two it is meant for, but it no longer exists when the two become more. Ah, well, clearly that's a secret. 3 men can keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. And more Surani bows. Which we keep inventory enough for these, I think. Not that one, though. And finally, it never was before, it is not now. Fools wait for it forever. Tomorrow? The future? Yeah. And more bows. Medium crossbow. I can probably repair those and take those back to the... Oh! And there was a trap here, which we somehow bypassed before. Thankfully, this one is fairly straightforward. We just have 2 cannons to get past. I just have to have Locklear move that one the one way. And now with those blocked, Owen can just run free. Bit anticlimactic, all that, but alright. Now they probably will not take these Surani bows. Yeah, I thought as much. But they will take the armor. Here's a question, will they take a fancy medium crossbow? Yeah, okay, they won't. And they won't take one of them fancy foreign swords either. And his armor craft ability has gone up. And we can camp by the dead bodies again, why not? And ambush. Well, one of them did get right next to Owen, so now seems a good time to try. So yeah, unfortunately, it does nothing on Dark Elves, but nice thing about the tuning fork is that there are creatures whose hearing is much more sensitive than that of even an elf. And they will flee combat if you set off the tuning fork, which can be very useful if you're fighting somebody with a pack of beast hounds. I think that one's trying to make a break for it. He was. And you can see that Owen is becoming something of a more capable fighter. And let's see, more rations. Not much point in taking this if we can't sell it. And we are overburdened with glorious purpose. And we don't want those poison rations. And drop that in there. You know, I swear we were actually going to get to the Temple of Dala during this one. But these ambushes seem to have other ideas. Hey, the poison arrows merge together. And well, I'll come back for this and shift inventory around later. And bingo, here is the Temple of Dala. At least I think this is Dala. Yes, this is Dala. So let's go ahead and see what the priests have to say here. Luckler asked to see the High Priestess. The attendant priest escorting them rattled like a great knight, a broadsword belted at his hip, and his head covered in chain link underneath his hood. They passed every priest in the temple who were similarly attired, the whole of the religious order seemingly geared for a great battle. When at last they entered a small room, the burly priest nodded toward a large paper triptych which stood near the rear wall. High Priestess Risa will see you after she has attended to the sick one. I will return after your business is finished. A small whimper came from behind the shouted screen, but was quickly shushed by the High Priestess. After a few moments, a lightly robed figure moved out from behind the screen, a bowl of gruel clutched between her small hands. High Priestess? Locklear ventured. Seeing Locklear's surprise, the woman smiled. Let me guess, I am not as you expected. Many of the faithful think I have talons, eyes of fire, and a sword sheathed at my hip. Moving to a small table, she set aside her wooden bowl and spoon, snatching up a towel to wipe broth from her hands. People misinterpret Dala's role in the balance of things. While she guards those in battle, she also guards travelers as they sleep, and looks after those in need. At the moment, I would value far more a bag of grain than I would all the martial skill in the world. Locklear blinked. Why is that, High Priestess? Our stores are nearly empty, she replied. What food we haven't given out to the poor has been stolen by thieves who take advantage of our generosity. If we can't get any grain to be milled soon, we will have to turn away children who have no other source of food. We might be able to bring you rations. The High Priestess shook her head. You can't store rations, not for long. We need a bag of grain. In exchange, I think Dala might bestow you a boon, though I can't presume on the goddess's favor without consultation. I would speak to you more, but I have others I need to see to today. And that is our quest hook. But we will not be able to do this quest until Chapter 2, for some reason, probably owing to the fact that they did not think anybody would try and come this way this early in the game, and thus did not code it in. And here we have another ambush, and I believe this is the one that hits you right before or right after you enter this grid screen. That was not the spell I meant to cast, but thankfully it's easy enough to go back. I'm thinking a Rusalki might even our odds here a bit. And let's go after that crossbowman. And everybody has forgotten the spellcaster. Shame, shame. Let's even those odds a bit more, shall we? And you know what? No kill like overkill. Powerful little spell, that. The only downside is that it doesn't give you much chance to practice your martial skill. But hey, Surani arrows. And we can't hold most of this, but let's just go ahead and test the theory. Keep heading west. And just in case I'm wrong, let's heal up. Because it just occurred to me there might be more than one ambush on the way in. And yep. And yeah, here is the... this is actually the one right after you enter this zone from Tirsag. You know what? We caught them off guard. Unfortunately, those don't seem to swing much better than standard quarrels. And one of them just went running. we don't want them getting away that quickly. Yeah, the only other thing that spell is useful for, apart from pulling enemies into traps, is if you don't want them to run away. He appears to have just taken himself out of the fight, however. And you know what? I'm feeling bold. We haven't used Flamecast in a while. We got a straight line. Well, that's what I get for trying. Now, let's have Owen get a swing in. And voila. And again, we are too overburdened, but I think if we head west a bit... The road was littered with rocks. Instinctively, he knew that they had simply fallen from the sides of the rocky defile which now faced them, but part of him entertained the notion that perhaps they had fallen onto the road bed when somebody had scrambled up the cliffs to await their party. If we head to the west, there's always a possibility that the Mordahel will have more assassins waiting for us, Locklear said. Do we risk it? So yes, here we are at Tirasog. Just a little bit of ways from the weapon shop that will buy everything in our inventory. And I think that is where I will go ahead and close out. And I'm going to spend some time off camera going back, picking up bodies, going to where I can sell stuff, and building our gold reserve back up. And next time, we will be ready to go eastward from High Castle. We will see you then.